Hello everyone. Today I'm going to make this can of soup taste a heck of a lot better. We're going to start off by heating some butter in a large pot over medium heat. And then we are going to add 2 ribs of diced celery. Stir it around so that the butter can coat that celery. After a few minutes, we are going to add 1 chopped small onion. Stir it around, try to separate those layers of the onions. Next, we are going to add some minced garlic. Now, you can either mince some fresh garlic or you can just do how I do. I have a jar of already minced garlic in my fridge, and I just added a small scoop of that and threw it in there. And next, we are going to add our seasonings, which is 1 teaspoon of dried thyme, 1 teaspoon of dried oregano, 1 teaspoon of dried basil, and half a teaspoon of smoked paprika. Stir it around and make sure everything is coated and looks nice. And then I didn't have any tomato paste to add, so instead I'm adding 1 tablespoon of ketchup. Sounds weird, but it worked. Then we're just going to stir that around and let that ketchup caramelize in the pan. And then we are going to add 1 pound of ground turkey. And you guys know I like to cook some of the meat that I'm making for dinner for my mom's dog. So I'm actually going to only add 3/4 of this package into this pan and set 1/4 pound in a different pan to cook for my mom's dog. It's up there in the corner. I don't know if you could see that. It was still frozen just a tiny bit, so you see me kind of struggling trying to crush it up a little bit. But then we are just going to stir that all around together, and then we're going to allow that to cook, to brown up. We're going to come back to it about every couple minutes and stir it up and make sure it's cooking evenly. Sorry for the lighting, I don't have a light above the stove. And then after the turkey is all the way cooked, we are going to add a couple of cans of the soup. And I also wanted to add 1 full can of mixed vegetables with the fluid and everything. And since I added the fluid from the canned vegetables, I didn't need to add any more fluid. If you're not going to add the canned vegetables, then you will need to add between 1 cup and 2 cups of chicken broth or vegetable broth. And then next we are going to add some salt and pepper and stir it around and let this come up to a boil. And then we are going to start tasting it and make sure that the amount of salt that we have in there is adequate and that it's delicious. I needed to add a little bit more salt. I don't generally measure my salt when I add it. And then just to brighten up the flavors, we are going to add a teaspoon of red wine vinegar. And what the vinegar does is it cuts through the heaviness, balances out the salt, and also enhances the depth. And then this is excuse me, this is just just minutes away from being done. And I am going to add just a pinch of crushed red peppers for the spice. Let's taste it. And delicious. This is what it turned out to look like. You can see how amazing that looks. It's not necessary to actually add the can of mixed vegetables like I was saying earlier, but this is how it looked, and it was delicious. Like and subscribe.